Message sent.
It's time to tell it like it is.
Hi, I feel like y'all pay attention more to my videos than my post. Either way, I have to get this off my chest.
Your videos aren't
So,
post.
yes, I got pregnant at 17 and I had a kid at 18, which makes me legally grown. My parents tried their hardest for it to not happen. They didn't let me go on dates or anything with my boyfriend. They locked me in the house, of course.
Of
They
course.
took my phone from me. They did everything they possibly can. They were fantastic, and they still are fantastic parents. I was raised with a mother and a father that was married and owned their houses and their cars. It has bachelors and masters, and they're literally just the best thing ever. They cannot control what I decided to do. So, like I said, do not ever come for my parents' parenting. They literally are the best parents ever.
Apparently they're not. She goes on to talk about they see each other every Sunday at church and they're Christian and all this stuff. Wow. To suggest that, of course, she literally said, of course, about them locking her away. Like that's a normal thing. They're the best parents ever. And they had to go to the extent of trying to force you, taking drastic action to try and force you. This just proves that just because you have both parents in the household doesn't guarantee that you're going to do a good job of parenting. The actual individuals, the people involved could be failed in some way. And clearly, whether she wants to admit it or not, her parents have failed her. You have the responsibility as a parent. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter your age, religion. You have the responsibility of a parent to have the greatest influence over that life that you've created. I've had thousands of conversations with parents over the years. And so often they like to say things like, you can't control how your children going to be or who they grow up to be. You absolutely can. How do you think the streets and music and all these other forms of entertainment influence your child's life, influence people in this world? You absolutely can control the type of people that your children grow up to be. What makes you think that's not possible? So you think there's some type of magical thing happening with all these other influences in the world, and you just don't possess that magic. Parents don't ever possess that magic. It's not meant for parents to be able to do that. It's meant for other things in this world to be able to have that magical control over the life that you created. Absolutely not. Figure out how it is, why it is that these other devices are having that type of effect over the life that you've created. Figure that out. Understand that. So that you can have that type of influence over the life you created instead of these other devices when it comes to parenting. The most easy way to affect the life that you created. Set good examples yourself. I've spoke about this for many, 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 many years. It's time for us to go and break this destructive ass, stupid ass cycle. Stop with the nonsense and the failure ass shit that our parents were doing. Do as I say, not as I do, and dumb shit like that. The most powerful tool that you have in parenting. You set the example. One of the biggest things that is keeping our black people from parenting correctly. When it comes to setting a good example for the life that you created, you have to be strong enough to do away with all this destructive ass music, all destructive ass, no good ass shit you're watching on TV, all this. Mind your attitude around your kids. Don't be arguing and fighting around your kids. Never, never. There's a lot of these things that our black people seem so damn, they are so much in love with certain levels of failure and just destruction and shit. So much that they can't help themselves. They can't control themselves. Even when their children are around, they can't help but to still engage in this failure and these things that are going to be a horrible ass influence for your children. You don't have enough control over yourself to keep yourself, to do any and everything necessary to not subject your child to that stuff, not use profanity around them, not demonstrate certain attitude, not curse at them. Stop with the physical abuse as a form of discipline. It is completely and totally unnecessary to subject your child to physical abuse as a form of discipline. That is a fact. But so many of our black people, we will argue that shit all day, every day. Oh, that's why these kids out of control these days. They not whooping ass no more. They don't need to. No, you idiot. That's part of the daggone problem. The only thing that your child is learning from you subjecting them to physical violence as a form of discipline, the only thing they're learning from that is it's okay for me to lash out. It's okay for me to respond with violence when I don't get my way, when I don't get the results that I want. I set the best example. The life that I create is most important to me. Is the life that you created more important to you than all this other shit out here in the world? Is it? If it is, then you should be willing to do what's necessary to be the greatest influence over that life you've created. When I say creating people, I'm talking about parenting. We become the people we are based on our collective experiences in life. We as parents have the ultimate responsibility of making sure the lives that we create have the best experiences so they can turn out to be the best people. It may sound extremely simple because, again, understanding what's necessary is insanely simple. Unfortunately, too many of our black people don't have the strength. They don't have the discipline. They don't have it within them to do what's actually necessary to get those results. As long as we don't understand these insanely simple things, as long as we don't develop the structure, the foundation, the strength, the patience, everything that's necessary to actually do these things, we will continue to fail. We will continue to be dead last globally. That's a fact for black people. When are you going to change? When are you going to want better? When are you going to care more about the life that you created? If you truly care to see a significant positive difference for us, then subscribe to change, subscribe to being better people, subscribe to being better parents. Anybody disagree with anything I got to say? Anybody, you want to have a discussion about it? Join me.